Good morning, everyone out there in Internet land. Hey, this is Keisha Bass. You're here at another episode of the Winning Women Network. I have a lovely panel of ladies here, and we're going to talk about a topic that is awesome. I think it's going to be a really good discussion. I know that you'll walk away, well, not walk away, but you'll actually leave here today and actually be empowered to really just, to ask for the money. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how you can simply ask for the money. So if you're here today and you have a problem, with asking people to join now, pay me, buy now, or whatever it may be, then today you're going to walk away with some information that will empower you so that no longer will serve you, all right? So I'm going to have the ladies to introduce themselves, just to say their name, and everything, and we'll get going with this topic because it's a really good one, and I want us to have a lot of time to discuss. So I'm going to start on my left, all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. My girl, Pam Lawhorn. Pam, come out and tell them about yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
This mute unmute thing drives me nuts. Hello. Hey guys, I'm Pam Lawhorn, and good morning to some of you guys, and good afternoon to some of you guys. I work online full-time, and I've been in the online arena for, I want to say 8 years, but I think it's 9 years now. I get lost with this, but I love what I do. I show people how to make money online, specifically working on eBay and Amazon. Love my life, love what I do. It's been an amazing ride. Been a little bit of a roller coaster sometimes, but it's like totally uphill at this point, like going over the hills, like over the moon actually, and we're just having a lot of fun. Sometimes sleepless nights, but not because I'm agonizing, worrying about money, but because I just can't wait for tomorrow to come. So that's pretty much what I do, work with all of these wonderful ladies on the panel, and we just love life and love helping other people and showing how they can have an amazing life too. So glad you guys can join us today. Glad you ladies could join us, and for the few guys that brave coming on and watching this pink show, glad you guys could join us too.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, we do have some guys that always message me like, hey, the guys are on too. So we want to say good morning. Well, it's morning for me, you guys. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and so it's always morning for me when I do these things. So I'm always like, good morning, and everybody's like, oh, it's afternoon. I'm like, okay, whatever, right? Sheree understands where I'm coming from, okay? Because we just have to get up, put our faces on and really get going. And y'all just ate lunch and everything, right? So I might as well go on over to my sister down in Olympia, Sheree King. Why don't you come out and tell them about yourself?
Hey everyone, yes, I am Sheree King out here in Olympia, Washington, where it's morning time. I told Keisha, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be like this morning because I have not been asleep. Just like Pam just mentioned, sometimes sleepless nights, and it wasn't agonizing. It was working and grinding and doing those things that we need to do to make things happen. But I am a mom of 4, stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, and I also do things, I do selling on eBay, e-commerce, and I love what I do. I love being a stay-at-home mom, work-from-home mom, and I just really hope you guys enjoy today's show. I know it's going to be a good one, though. Sit tight.
I love it. I love it. And Sheree, I know you're going to have a lot of insight today because of your background. There's some things that you're going to, I want you to share. And we'll talk about that later. I got some questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So moving, I'm gonna go over to North Carolina. I got Miss Jen Glidden over in the NC. Come on out, Jen.
Hey, Keisha. Great to see you. Thanks for having me today. Great to be here. And I am Jen Glidden. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a little 16-month-old boy. and a husband, and I work from home. I'm selling on eBay and Amazon also. I've done all sorts of businesses in my past. I worked in a cubicle at one point in time, and this is definitely the business that's been the most successful and the most fun for me so far. So I'm happy to be able to share insights and, you know, learn from you ladies. It's always a great time on this Hangout.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jen. I love it. You can do it, okay? I like your title today. Awesome. So we're going to move. We got a guest today with us. I'm so excited to have her here. We have Miss Karen that's on with us. Karen, why don't you come on out and tell them about yourself? This is your first time, so you got a little more time. You can kind of tell people your background and stuff, and we would love to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, first and foremost. And hello, everyone out there listening. My name is Karen Graves, and I am, new to the team here, but definitely not new to business. I've been in business for over 6 years and came into largely in the coaching industry. So I coach entrepreneurs into how to, make sales happen, how to create a business that you can learn and love your life and make money. But what I also find out is that a lot of times it's all of what's going on here and here that are out of sync. And so I help people, overcome those challenges so that your heart and mind are working together. And what I found is, like Pam said, that's a roller coaster ride. It's like you go through this journey of entrepreneurship to really find and develop yourself. And there's a lot of walls that you can hit. And believe me, I've hit them all. Name a wall, I'm sure I ran into it. And so, finding this opportunity has been tremendous because had I known 6 years ago, my goodness, the time I could have saved. But, I'm here for a reason. Definitely say that timing is everything, and there's always divine timing. And so, I'm happy to be here and happy to lend everything that I learned about what to do and not to do to this particular network. So thank you so much for having me. Glad to be.
Thank you so much, Karen. And we are just, elated that you would join us this morning. So we're going to definitely pull on her insight this morning from her coaching background. I love coaching. I think it's the most amazing thing ever. Coaching pushed me into the person I am today. So behind the scenes, like I tell people, behind the scenes, I worked harder on myself than I did on a business. And so now you can see the fruits of my own personal growth. So money really is money. You can make as much money to the extent of the person that you actually become. And that's not really how the statement goes, but that's how I can think of it right now. But your income will only grow to the extent that you do. There we go. So really it's about, you growing as a person. And let me give somebody else the panel link, you guys. But I just want to say to you all, good morning. Again, this is Keisha Bass, and so just a little bit about myself. I actually started in the internet industry back in 2008. I got online and, really, thought I was about to really hit it big. All I needed to get was 3 people, and they got 3 people, and me and my husband were going to be overnight millionaires. But that didn't work out that way. But and so I'm here today, and we're all here. We actually are part of a company called DS Domination. Just in case you see below the video, there's 2 buttons there. One is join our team, and the other one is if you have more questions, you can click that button. And honestly, you all, I'm just going to be an example. I'm not afraid to ask you to join now. So if you're on this Hangout, someone invited you here today, then they love you, and they really want to see your life change. They really want to see your bank account change for the better. Right, with a system that absolutely works. Okay, it can work for my 13-year-old, it can work for my grandmother, it can work for my mom, it can work for my dad, it can work for anyone that simply sits down and watches the videos and goes through the training and follow the simple steps that are outlined in the videos. You don't have to have any SEO experience. You don't have to, drive traffic to your eBay listings or do any of that kind of stuff. It's very, very simple. So if you are here, you have questions about that, then click below. But we have some great information for you today. Those of you who are in business and perhaps you're not in the same business that we're a part of, which is okay, because we want to give you some information that will empower you in whatever business that you are in, okay? Whatever you're doing, you need to learn how to, even if you're, a car salesperson. I mean, we have someone on our team that actually is in car sales, And, you know, it's the same thing. You have to be able to ask for the money. Don't dance around when you get to the money issue. Let's ask for the money, ladies. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I was reading, doing some reading, guys, ladies, sorry. I'm always saying guys. You know, I think that's a Northwest thing, right, Cherie? Like, hey, guys, what's going on? Like in the South, they don't really say that. Do they say it in the South, Jen? Like, hey, guys, what's going on? I don't know. Maybe they don't. My grandmother, when I moved to Seattle, because many don't, you know, I'm from Louisiana, and I moved to Seattle, and then I would see, and I would go and visit my grandmother, who was from the South, and I would be like, hey guys, you know, and she'd be like, wait, hold up, I'm not a guy. And so that's just random, but that's okay. So guys, this is what I was reading. Or ladies, this is what I was reading. Many women who run home-based businesses are worried about appearing pushy, and they pin that, I know, they pin that asking for payment on their levels of self-worth. This makes the entire business of running a business fraught with negative emotions, fear of what people think, and the constant finance juggling that should, by rights, have stopped when we decide to work for ourselves. If we are charging what we are worth and getting paid because it's our business to, then all things being equal, we will be successful. So what are your thoughts, ladies? Let's talk about this. Because I want to say really with women, right? It's more so a thing with women where we have a problem, you know, asking for the payment. What are your thoughts?
Hi, this is Karen. I'll definitely.
Go ahead, Karen.
I'll definitely chime in on that because I've worked extensively with women over the years, and whether it was in my past corporate experience, I was teaching sales training and development, and the coaching that I work with entrepreneurs, especially, you know, women, is the first time in our lifetime that we've been given that permission to ourselves to ask for what we want. You know, we were raised by mothers who were raised by mothers who were raised by mothers who were like, you know, sit still, be pretty, only speak when spoken to. You know, it's not your place to ask for things. You're supposed to wait and accept and, you know, play your position. And so we have all sorts of messages around that. Like everything that how we've been judged is our outer appearance. You know, it's not cute to be the smart girl. It's only cute to be the cute girl. You know, so we have all sorts of ways that we judge ourselves, and it's comparison for either how we were raised and told or looking around us in society. So what happens is lots of times we have to ask for something from our own value, but our own value systems are often broken because we've never really had to look at and compare and really own ourselves, what we think and feel about ourselves. So there can be a challenge there for women to say, you know what, I want this and I can have it because I want it, rather than I want it because somebody told me that I had to have it.
That's good. Tammy, you were going to say something.
Mike. Hello, Mike.
We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you, Pam.
All right. All right. As women, we're so concerned about the likability factor. So we want to make sure that we don't come off as the pushy person. We want to make sure that people don't take offense to us. And for women, when men are aggressive in business, it's okay. But for women, they give us a whole nother title. And we know what that title is, which this is a daytime show, so we'll leave that one alone. So we don't want to come off as too aggressive. So we tend to be a little bit more passive. So we'll give of our time, and we'll let people take advantage of our time without going for the ask. And it makes us feel used. So I learned a long time ago that if you don't ask, people will just continue to ask of your time, and they'll continue to use and abuse your time. And realistically, you lose out on money, you lose out on business, and they'll go somewhere else where someone who will ask for the money and someone who will ask for the business will go right at it, and they'll give it to them. So you have to learn to be aggressive. You have to learn to ask for it, and really, honestly, demand that up front. Otherwise, they'll go to someone who is going to ask for it because they have more respect for their time and more respect for them because you've given it to them for free, and they don't see you as someone worthy of deserving it.
Very good point. Go ahead, Jen.
Keisha, some thoughts that I have about this are that absolutely, I think the other ladies have kind of touched on it, and that is, it comes down to a self-confidence issue and how we're programmed to think about things, and I think that a lot of women especially think that sales is about them, and sales is not about you. It's about bringing the customer what serves them. So serving your customer. And when you're working with a customer and giving them what they want, that just comes from asking questions. And as you ask questions and find out what does this person need, if they're not a good fit, then that's fine. It's not a rejection of you. It's not a rejection. It's not about you. And I think once people are able to separate themselves from the sale and instead focus on the value that they're bringing the customer, that can really really break things free. So those are some thoughts that I had on that.
Wow, those are really, really great thoughts. Welcome, Deetra and Kana. I don't want to say your name wrong. Welcome, ladies. Sorry about the link and stuff. I don't know what I was sending, but welcome to the Hangout.
Thank you for having me.
Deetra, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself while you're out?
My name is Deetra Jones, and I've been with the Unit of Prosperity since, I guess you could say, late October, early November. But I'm not new to internet, I'm not new to multi-level marketing. Internet marketing is somewhat new for me, but at the same time, it's just a matter of engaging people, and like Jennifer was saying, learning what people need and also learning to listen, because I am quite a talker, as a lot of us are, but when you mature in your own business, you learn what's necessary, and sometimes you need to listen, because you'll learn that if you listen more, you can meet the needs of the people, which will in turn allow them to follow you, and they'll want to follow you because they'll be able to see what you're doing. So I am a divorced mother of 3 teenage boys, and I was in corporate America for nearly 30 years supporting executives, but I've also always had something going on in the background. Better known as some type of a hustle. But you know what? We are doers, and we like to make things happen, and that's why we're where we are. So I'm so glad that I found DS Domination and connected with some more like-minded people who are doers. So, but I've always had a history of lowballing myself. I mean, I have a lot of skills, but lowballing myself, it's just it's almost like a disease. That's how I see it, because I would always be offering so much, but I'd be so afraid to ask people for money. I mean, and people fling money around all the time, but if you don't value the services that you provide and that you can offer, no one else will. So you have to not be afraid. And I mean, I used to go into a sweat just thinking of, oh my God, I have to tell them that they have to pay me for what I did. And I mean, you know, we've gone through a lot to get the knowledge that we have and to achieve the level of success that we have even within before it comes out. We've gone through hell. So why shouldn't we be compensated for what we have gone through to get the knowledge so that we can help people and stop them from falling into the traps and tricks that are out here? We can help people. So I've learned not to keep asking.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that, you know, because I've myself gone the same thing, like going to a cold sweat, right? When it's time to extra money, I mean, literally, like, you know, I'm sweating, my palms are sweating, like, oh my God. You know, like I'm on a call, because I used to do coaching as well. I'm on a call and it's time to close and trying to, you know, tell them, you know, how much this fee is and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I got to stand up. You know, I'm doing all the stuff my coach just told me to do. Okay, stand up, you know, assume the position. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know? So why do you think that is, though?
I mean, I think it comes from, when you go through trials in life too, your self-esteem takes a little bit of a bruise and sometimes a lot. And a lot of that is a reflection of what's going on the inside. But when we can, like you said, when coaches tell us stand up, it's about body language. We're posturing ourselves on the exterior so that we're not reflecting, we're still coming back from stuff. So that's what I think it is that subconsciously somehow we don't feel like we're worth it because we haven't gotten out enough. Because when strangers start telling you, oh my God, how much is this? And you start saying, okay, I'm missing something here, because they value what we give. So I think it just comes from within, Keisha.
Awesome.
I think we're still coming back from some stuff.
Cool. All right, well, thanks so much, Dietra. I got to make sure I say your name right. Dietra. Yeah, come on out, sweetie. Tell us about yourself. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I too am a mom of two. I have a 10-year-old, and then I also have a 20-month-old. Hello?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Something's going on with my screen, so I'm just going to keep on talking. Yeah, I have a 10-year-old, and then I have a 20-month-old as well. And so I've been in the network marketing industry, home-based business industry for about 10 years now. It's been kind of back and forth. The last 5 years, I've been pretty full-time. I was introduced to DS Domination.
Uh-oh. You there? Looks like we lost her. All right, ladies. We will come back to Kana. So we're talking about asking for the money. And so you all that have been invited here today, we just want to, many of us mentioned DS Domination. Below this video, there are links that you can get more information about, what it is that we do. It's awesome because, honestly, in this business, I just share. It's not a hard sale. Like, I don't have to be like, it's not a hard sale, right? Either you get it or you don't. People email me, they were like, Keisha, how do you sponsor so many people? Well, either they get it or they don't, right? I don't spend my time convincing and, look at this and do this, what I'm saying? Like, I don't. It's like, do you see the vision? Nope. Okay, next. Seriously. So there's a link below that you can get more information and connect with one of these lovely ladies that have invited you here today. So we're talking about asking for the money, okay? And we were talking, Cherie, I want you to come out and stuff, because Cherie, and the reason why I'm asking Cherie to come out is because Cherie actually worked in a hair salon, right? You were a beautician.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to do a lot of asking for the money, right? As a beautician, I mean, all day long people are like, okay, how much do I owe you? And so, Cherie, can you give us some of your insight in your career as a beautician and how you do, how asking for the money worked for you?
Well, to be quite honest, Keisha, when I first got started in the hair industry, I worked in a salon. And so when you're working in a salon, and I'm not talking about booth rental, I'm talking about on a salary/commission base. And, when you're working in that type of environment, then you don't really have to ask for the money because, they're going to pay whatever the salon is charging. But once I decided to branch out on my own and started my own salon, then that's when I started kind of running into issues because a lot of my clientele followed me from beauty school. And because of that, they were used to paying, lower prices. And so when I would come at them, with a higher price, then they kind of, got a little bent out of shape, and everything. And so me being the type of person, and I think, a lot of what Dietra said, really rings true with me because I felt like it was like a, and I find that it happened as well in network marketing and other companies, and businesses that I've been in, feeling that feeling of despotism, and so it was like, I don't want clients to leave me, so let me go on ahead and lower my prices and charge lower so that I can possibly get more clients to come in or keep the ones that I have, as opposed to just saying, I do good work and I went to school, I paid for this, and you're going to pay me what, what my time and my energy and my skills and my talents are worth. And so it took time for that to happen. It didn't happen during that time in my life. It didn't happen when I was selling my ebooks online, because I did the same thing then. I lowballed myself until I spoke with someone, and I guess you could kind of say she was somewhat of a coach slash mentor to me. And she told me, she said, you could be charging X amount of dollars for your ebooks because the information in there is needed and it's good. And, you know, and people will pay. And so I was so scared to raise the price of it when I did. And I was like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's going to buy it. And then, you know, when I made that first sale at that higher price, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody actually bought it. And so that kind of, you know, boosted my self-esteem. But then I still needed some more work done on myself. You know, I needed more personal development. You know, I listened and followed some Danny Johnson teachings and things like that. And that really helped me. And so, you know, now I'm at the point in my business where I don't beg people to join me. I don't beg people to stay, and I definitely, you know, when it's time to ask for the money, pay up. But it took time, and it took, you know, it took really working on myself, you know, and I still have some work to do, but I'm a lot further in that mindset than I was back when I was into the hair industry. So
awesome. Okay, so first of all, I want you to correct your name when you come out this time, Kana, because I want to make sure I'm saying it right. And the way ladies on the panel, when we address you, we want to make sure we're saying it right. So welcome back.
Thank you. You're saying it the right way. It's Kana.
Cool.
Yes. So as I was saying before, I'm a mom. I have 2 boys. They're 10 and 20 months. And I've been doing network marketing for many years, about 10 years. The last 5 years have been full-time, and I just came across DS Domination with Reginald Stinson, and he showed me the product. At that time, the company that I was with was kind of falling to the wayside, as we know can happen in this industry. And so I was a single mom with 2 kids, and I had absolutely no choice. Like, I had to make, you know, the eBay drop shipping thing work for me. So that's what I've been doing, is building that platform and building it up and getting it going. So, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
You and I both, okay? Love it. Well, welcome to the panel today. We're so excited. Okay, ladies, so I want to go back to something that Pam said, right? And she mentioned that this is daytime TV, so she didn't go too far into this, so we're going to know that the kids may be at home. So, but why is it that we're seen different from men when we go and we're just like, you know what, this is what I want, you know, do this, you know, pay me, get started, whatever. Why is it that when we're like that, we're seen one way, but when men do that, they're seen totally different? I want to hear your thoughts. Keep it PG. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it was Deidre. She talked about it a little bit more. You know, men are known.
Pam's mic is delayed, you guys. Pam, your mic's delayed. Go ahead, Kana.
Oh, I think that men are known more so as aggressor.
Yeah. You know what? I try.
Uh-oh. Hold on, Pam. Yours is coming like after. Go ahead, Kana.
Oh, I was going to say that I think that men are more so the aggressor, you know, and women, we're supposed to be kind of the nurturer. So when we have that aggressive nature about us, people are like, whoa, you know, you're not supposed to be that way. So maybe, you know, it's a society thing, or what we've been taught in society, that men play this certain dominant role and women don't have that role.
Mm. All right, good point. Good point. Go ahead, Pam. Are you there, Pam? I think Pam has dropped off. Okay, next. Who else? Who has got thoughts about that? Why is it that we're seen differently than men?
Well, I will say that we're seen differently. I totally agree with what Kana said. I think it's societal expectations, but I also think that there is the, you know, if we believe it, then it's true. If we believe that we're being seen differently, that we kind of feed into that. So it's like, oh, you must be, as a woman of color, come on, it's like how many times has been said, oh, black women are aggressive black women. Well, or the angry black woman, right? If I feed into that, then I'm hung up on that. But if I'm just like, no, I'm just being me, then nobody can call me anything other than, oh, that's Karen, right? And so I think we have to let go of the worry of people are going to see us like this or what have you. Now, on the flip side, there are some women who believe that they have to be more testosterone driven, but it comes off as fake, right? And so if you're always being your authentic self, you don't have to worry about coming across as a bee or an angry person, or you just being you, and it's actually really magnetic, and people want more of it. But if you're being somebody other than yourself, then that's where you're pushing people away.
That's good. Be your authentic self. I like that. Hang on. You're going to say something.
Okay, and can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, because I totally lost my signal. I heard like the tail end of Karen. I worked in the real estate and mortgage industry for about 15 years and worked with a lot of women. And for the women who were doing the high-end transactions, not to take away from that, but we were all known as bees. So it went across the entire line. For us, it didn't matter what color we were. And Jennifer could probably lead to this because she was Bay. And so when we hit those marks and took the sales away from the men, you got a little bit too aggressive, then if you played ball a little bit too hard in the real estate mortgage industry, because I was in the Charlotte area when I was doing real estate mortgages, then you were every word in the book. So I think when men go after it, they're great businessmen. When women go after it, then they're the C word, the B word, and probably a whole bunch of other ones that I didn't know they were calling me behind my back. So I think when you decide to take control of your business and be a businesswoman, you just have to own it, period. When you decide to ask for the money, you just have to decide to do it, period. For me, when I went into coaching, I made it clear up front with people when they were going to schedule an appointment with me that these are my fees. This is what it's going to cost. I don't schedule an appointment with people unless they're aware of what my fees are, so that if that's something that's out of your budget, then there's no need for us to even set an appointment. And I think when you start setting those types of boundaries for people or expectations for people, they know that you're serious. And some people, even now with what I do, some people don't like it. And I'm okay with that. But that way, I control my time, and other people don't. I don't let people waste my time. But when you are wishy-washy with your time and the way that you handle your business, other people will abuse it. So I think asking up front for the money and making it clear to people that you're not going to let them email you back and forth and get on the phone and 5,000 questions about joining your $20 opportunity. I think when you make it clear that you're going to ask them, period, are they able to join you before they get on the phone for our conversation, I think that's fine. But you have to do that up front, and you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with doing it via email before you schedule an appointment with them. So that's just taking control and being a business person. This is a business, what we do, and anything, if you're in business, you have to treat it like a business. And I think that's the difference. Most people are afraid to let people know that this is how I make a living. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you feed your family off of what you do, let people know. That's the difference. Treat it like a business. We say that all the time. Treat it like a business, and other people will respect you that way. If you treat it like a hobby, then people will treat you like it's a hobby.
Mm-hmm. They'll pay you like a hobby, which is if they want or if they don't want to. Yeah, good point.
Question, yeah.
Great point. Awesome. Anybody else want to add anything to that discussion there? Okay, go ahead, teacher.
I just wanted to say that, you know, coming out of a ministry perspective and doing outreach and stuff like that, I definitely love what I do, but as you move forward and change lives, sometimes people have not either been in a business like this or they don't know the value. So when I feel like they sincerely don't know the value, I give them some comparisons because for me, I'm trying to grow people, and sometimes you have to meet people where they are in a sense, because I absolutely agree with what Pam is saying for those people who do know and have a different motive. But for those people that we're trying to reach and trying to grow them and disciple them, if you will, sometimes if you give them or have them go do a little bit of research as a homework assignment as you're coaching them, they will go and see how much your services would cost elsewhere. So they get an education while they're learning and while they're growing. Now, and then, I mean, other people have also seen the type of work I do, so you know what, they'll say, you know what, I know somebody who needs your services, and they will pay me and sponsor that person to me, which I feel is a blessing. So I'm growing my business on all sides. I'm meeting people where they are. I'm growing them. They're getting educated in this line of business if you plan to be in it and stay in it. And so they're getting a huge benefit. So I tell them, but you know, when you talk large pricing to people who don't have any value, and we can see it in the group that we're in, people who are clueless think that our services are just not worth anything. Well, I have something to show and tell you. And I'm going to help you grow so that you can learn what we're doing so that you will not think my services are for free. Now, after I have shared this with you 2 or 3 times, you will not get this level of service for what you're getting now. And so you have therefore been warned and educated. So, you know, now at that point, it's a different story. But sometimes we have to help people by growing them. And that's how I love to change lives, and that's how you're going to change it. It's by teaching people and showing people, teaching them value. When you go to people who are used to getting things and they want to try to get you for free, now that's out. Then I'm turning into Pam then. No.
Deidre, so and you actually, aside from what we do here, you actually have a business as well. You with planning, event planning.
I do.
And things like that. And what have you seen as far as, you know, and I'm sure you've grown as a person. When you first got started as an event planner, then I imagine you had some issues with paying me. And people really with event planning, I believe that the value of an event planner is so underrated. Like, I planned a 13th birthday party for my son, and I said, I'll never do that again.
It's definitely some work. It's definitely some work, but again, you are teaching people the value, because, you know, it's funny. For the longest time, Keisha, I don't call myself an event planner. I still don't. I mean, the fact that people just want to hand me all their money and say, here, Deirdre, you do it. You find the best stuff. You find the this. I tell them, you know what? Go on such and such website and try to get what I just presented to you. You won't even be able to get it. So that's how I educate people. No, it's okay. Don't worry. I won't call you back, but go try to get it somewhere else. And the next thing you know, they'll try to call me back. Too late. Deal's gone.
Wow. That's good.
Teach them. Yeah, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Good stuff, you guys. That is awesome. Good stuff. So teach them your value. You guys, I went to I went to Zumba last night. Okay, I mean, I told you guys about that. But this is something that happened. It's interesting that today we're talking about ask for the money, and yesterday with this incident that happened to me at Zumba. So after Zumba, the instructor was fabulous, right? Fabulous instructor. I mean, just 10-star. But afterwards, my friend, it's a friend of mine, she wanted the instructor to do some work for her. And so I'm standing there, right? And so she says to her, hey, I want to know if you could help me to basically choreograph some songs. And so I'm standing there, right? I'm listening. And so she says, and so the instructor says, well, how many songs? And she's a really nice girl, right? She's nice. And so the instructor, she says, well, how many songs? So my friend says, 10 songs. And so I said, you want her to choreograph 10 songs? So, and it just kind of like, and so I'm standing there, I'm listening to the girl, she's like, okay, and so they're Christian songs. She wants her to choreograph 10 Zumba songs to some Christian songs that she's going to give her to choreograph, right? So I stood there, right? And so when she walked away, I said to her, my friend, I won't even say her name, I said, that's not fair. I said, either you need to hire her, you need to pay her for her time to choreograph 10 songs. I said, her time, you know, or either hire her to come to the retreat that you're having. That is so unfair to her, for her to take out time, and this is me at Zumba, right? For her to take out her time to choreograph these songs, you know, for you, and you're not going to pay her? I was like, somebody needs to pay somebody, you know? But it's amazing how, you know, even as the instructor, there's no way I would have did that. I would have said, you can hire me, right? I can give you my fee to choreograph these songs for you, right? Because now I got to choreograph them and then teach you the steps for 10 songs. I was floored, right? But people will do that to us if we allow them to. If we allow them to, they will take, you know, even in the business that we're in, guys. I had a person one time, he didn't want to join the business, but he wanted me to tell him what to do. And so he literally sent to me, he said, well, if you show me how to make a couple sales and so I can make some money, then I will join your business. I said, no, you won't. You're going to pay the money to get the training just like I did, and then you can go off and make your own money, and then you can upgrade, do whatever you want to do, but you're not going to use me and my education. You know, no, that's not happening, right? But I had to grow as a person. So you know, we want to give them, the listening audience, some tips, some things that they can use, that they can take away from today, on how, you know, they can be empowered to really just, you know, to ask for the money, to ask some people to join now, to be okay. There are people from other teams that send me messages about what should I do, you know, how should I do this? You know, I say, you know what, my time is reserved for the people who are paying me. I have a team full of people that they're paying me for mine. You know, they've joined, they've connected with me. So it's not fair for me to take up my time and get on the phone with you and instruct you. Now, I can do what I can to help, but, you know, but have you guys noticed that? Have you ladies noticed that? Even in this business.
I'll definitely say that I have completely noticed where, you know, there is, and Pam alluded to it earlier, it's really, and you said it too, it's about knowing what your boundaries are, knowing what you will accept and not accept. And I believe that what happens for oftentimes, and, you know, I could say especially women, right, we forget where we want our walls to be. We forget where we want our boundaries to be. And so we put, you know, like we put down the barriers and we lower our standards and we, you know, let go because we're so often givers. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we are worth putting up boundaries and barriers around our time and what we need for ourselves. And so, you know, when you have those boundaries in place and you're very clear as to what are in your boundaries and what are your not, what's not, you know, like your Zumba instructor, clearly she didn't have any boundaries about choreographing any type of music. Like, it could be, she could have said, I'll do one song, I'll give you an idea, and then anything else you have to pay for. This could have been a lot of ways. Or she could have said, I don't do Zumba to Christian music. Or, you know, but she didn't have any boundaries. She was probably so needy. Oh, you see me. Oh, I'm worthy. Thank you. You're patting me on the head. And we have to stop feeding into somebody else defines our worth. And when we give up our time, that's an indication that we don't define our worth. And so that's another area that if you put those boundaries and I don't step outside of them and I don't let anybody in, then you'll get paid what you want and you'll get the type of work that you want and you won't be spinning your wheels and giving away your time either.
Yeah. And I even think about it even in corporate America, even with raises and even when accepting offers and how, you know, it's just like, you know, you get an offer and you just, okay, well, I'll just take that. Or, you know, and it's really not what you wanted, and then you just accept whatever money, you know, that they offer to you. And it's, you know, it happens not just online, but even in corporate America. Go ahead, Pam.
Not only that, but I know one of the reasons why I'm so firm in my position is because the point of entry into our business is so low that if you don't make that bar that in order for you to get my time, you have to join, that they'll take all your time up. See, I make even an introduction call 15 minutes, because after that, in order to get started, it's $20. If you don't feel like you can join for $20, I don't feel like I am going to spend a whole lot of time answering a whole bunch of questions when you can get in and get access to a ton of videos, 4 weeks worth of training, access to our wonderful team, 6- and 7-figure earners, for an entire month, all kind of resources. I mean, all of this for $20. And if you don't see that value, then I'm not going to continue to answer your questions. So for me, I'm going to raise the bar and say that you need to join after I answer your questions. I'm not going to keep getting on the phone and answering your emails, because I feel that you can't even take a family of 4 out and eat for $20. If you're not willing to put that investment in, then I'm not willing to keep investing my time and energy into you. That's what I mean by you have to ask and say, listen, if it's not enough for you to put $20, then it's not enough for me to just keep spending my time. That's what I mean by people will keep pushing and pushing and pushing and get out of you what you will give to them. If you don't see that value in yourself, say, listen, this is it, then they will take what they can get, and then they'll go on to someone else and sign up, or they'll go on to something business to them. So you have to have enough concern about yourself to say, if they go, they go. That's why I asked up front and said, well, what is it that you want to do? Because you'll attract the people to you that you need to attract. But if you seem desperate enough where you just keep getting on the phone, you keep answering their emails, you keep responding to them, then you give them the impression that you'll give them whatever they need. I'm not going to give anyone whatever they need. I'm going to help them when they help themselves.
Yeah, I definitely have a email cutoff limit, right? I mean, it's like, so many emails I go back and forth, with prospects, and it's kind of like, okay, you just need to make a decision, right? And it works for me. It works for me because they'll start asking questions about, and I just like to say I have a blanket response. Everything you need is inside the training. I promise you. Like every question that they ask me, it's like that's all in the training. Well, what about this? Well, it's all in the training. Everything you need is in the training. Trust me, it's in the training. So definitely respect. I'm a big respecter of time, of mine at least. Awesome. There was one thing that we said, so to empower you all as you go away, and there was something I like that Karen actually said, is to understand what you are really worth. You have to really, you have to understand that as a woman, as a business owner, to understand what you are worth, and no one can define your worth. When there's no one external that can define, your worth. Karen, you want to talk about that really some more as far as really understanding what you're really worth.
Oh yeah, I'm singing the amen corner of praise on that one because it's true. Nobody can't, what happens, I think, oftentimes is that we do compare ourselves to other people, or we wait for somebody to define that worth for us. And it really is that really just making a decision that this is what I'm worth. And it's taking a stand and being able to stay strong in it. And Pam said it earlier, you got to own it. And, there's going to, and knowing that, and I think this is part of that development journey, that personal development, is people are not always going to be okay with it. You're going to make a statement. You're going to say, hey, join my team or come work with me. And somebody's going to say no. But if you continue to take that personally rather than, and looking at it is, it's not about you. If you've extended yourself in service and you know that what you have is valuable, then you can easily say, well, that's not about you. But if you're questioning your self-worth, you're going to internalize it and say, oh, they don't like me, or, oh, I must have hurt their feelings or something, and it's got nothing to do with you. But when you're really clear about what you're worth and knowing that you give value, then you won't have to worry about it, and you'll be able to define whatever price point you want for yourself. And so that's the big thing is stop waiting for somebody to be your solution, your answer. It's not Disney movies are Disney movies. There is no prince on the shining white horse. We've got to give up that belief that somebody's going to come in and say, this is who you are. We get to decide that, and that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. That's the biggest perk there is.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
And can I say something too? Keisha, I think that you hit the nail on the head whenever you said at first that you started putting that focus into you and building yourself up. And I think that as women, that's where we need to build that focus, because once we start putting more into us and knowing what our worth is, then that's when that role comes in that Pam was talking about, where we know our worth and our expectations, and we know that we're not going to stand for anything, and then that's reflected on the outside, and people see that in you. So if we put that focus there and working on ourselves and developing ourselves, and the rest kind of falls into place.
Mm-hmm. That's good, because I was thinking oftentimes we spend so much time nurturing others, right? We have kids, and as women, we spend so much time, developing others and nurturing them, and developing our kids and stuff, that we forget about ourselves. Like, hello, here I am, and yeah, so it's very key. And I don't remember who mentioned it as well, but someone else was saying that. Oh, it was Cherie. It's very key, that you work on your own, work on yourself, because then you begin to see yourself differently. And it will reflect. It'll show on the outside, that you've changed. Awesome. Another thing was your attitude towards money. Could that be the reason as well why sometimes we shy away from the whole money topic, right? Because of our own attitudes that we have, towards money. Let me hear your thoughts about that. We're getting close to our end here.
Well, I wanted to speak out because as a former First Lady, Christian woman, I think that a lot of times for a lot of people, and I know this was true of myself and even my husband, we struggled with the teachings, some of the teachings that we get, in ministry and in church, that, well, you're not supposed to, be rich. You're not supposed to be wealthy. You're not supposed to seek after, riches and money and things like that. And so it was always kind of made to seem like, the less you have, the more humility you have, the more humble you are, the more, you know what I'm saying? And so I think for a lot of people, their issues with money stem from even that, and I know it probably can go deeper, because I know reading books like Secret of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, he talks about that, the money blueprint, and how a lot of us have this attitude against, wealthy people and rich people, and we hear these terminologies, stinking, filthy, rich, and, things that always have a negative connotation when you're talking about money. And so it goes really deep for a lot of us, whether it's, because we've always heard our moms or dads say, money doesn't grow on trees, or, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. And then to have that solidified in church, saying, that
it's easier,
blessed are the poor and stuff like that, so yeah, and so we feel like, the less we have, the more spiritual we are, and things like that. So those are some things that really need to be addressed, to know that, our Father in heaven is, he owns everything, and he says that, it's that we can have, cattle on 1,000 hills. So it's not a bad thing, for us to do that, and, to seek after being comfortable and not being in a state of lack, and being in a position where we can't pay our bills, we can't take care of our family, because the Bible clearly tells us to do those things, So, yeah.
That's really, Sheree, it's so interesting that I was thinking the same thing about T. Harv Eker and that money blueprint, because I too grew up in church, and I was, just taught that it was easier for a camel to go under the eye of a needle or something than for a rich man to enter into heaven. So I took that scripture so literally, and I just thought that me being rich, that God didn't want that to to be that I should just be okay with the things that I have and not strive to be rich. And it really messed me up. It really messed me up. And a lot of people, have that whole thing like, I'm more spiritual the less money I have or something like that. It's like, you can't help nobody broke. I'm sorry, the kingdom of God, you can't push anything, past your front door without some money.
Exactly.
I'm over here dying to get in on this, Keisha, because this is the conversation you and I had the other day. As you know, this is all up here. We were talking about how before, when we thought about money all the time, when we would, the B word, I won't even say it, the BROKE, actually have a hard time making money because of how we thought we had to get money. And reality is, it's so much easier to get access to money when you know how to. The reality is, making money is very easy when you don't think about it. When you learn how to access money and become a magnet, it's so much simpler. I think that goes back to the whole part of the asking for money. You don't have an issue asking for money anymore. You don't have an issue accessing it, attracting it, or anything anymore. Once you retrain your brain, once you train your thing, once you retrain who you access, the whole thing is, people just need to reprogram their whole thought process of how you make money, how you sell everything. So it's just a totally different thing. I grew up that whole way too of making money, not being able to do this because I was poor. So I think the whole thought process of now we're reading like the Millionaire Mindset and learning how money is actually and how people who have millions of dollars make them and how they think and how someone who had $100,000 actually thought they were making money, and the guy laughed at him and said, "I make that a month. What are you talking about? You're making money." It's just the whole thought process of how money is actually earned, and it just really screws your head up and how quickly things can happen in a minute. So you just have to really rethink things, and I just highly recommend, I always tell people, don't focus so much on your marketing. Marketing comes to you later. Even like now, if I don't make $500 or $600 or $1,000 in a day, I don't even panic anymore because I know that there's more of it coming. Money just pops up now from all different places. So I tell everyone, just focus on retraining your brain, retraining the way that you think and how you can attract money, and you never have to worry about it again. And it trains you to be bold in asking for money. You don't even have to worry about it anymore.
That's so true. So very true. Karen.
Yeah, right along lines with Pam is saying, it's, this is an opportunity. As people look at, how can I make money now? It's your opportunity to not only step into something that's going to make you money, but redefining yourself in the process. You have come to this point in your life with all sorts of other thoughts about, how you should be, who you should be, what you should be doing. And as women, if we are going to take ourselves to any level of excellence that we really want, we have this opportunity to strip away all those past stories, all those past beliefs, and redefine ourselves exactly how we want. And that is power. We get to step into a powerful place that we've never been before. So it will be scary. There will be work to do. It will seem overwhelming. But if you have that courage to do it and to live life the way you want to live it, you will have beyond the sky being the limit. There will be no end to it. So this is all opportunity to every day. And today is the day you can say, you know what, no more. I don't want to carry on those church lessons that I was told, because it's not really a part of my life right now. That's not serving me. And we can adopt ideas that do serve us. And I'm saying still honor God, but adopt the ideas that that are truth for you rather than somebody else's truth. And I think that's what we have that opportunity to do every single day. And then you got to commit to it every single day.
Good stuff. Kana.
Yes, and I was going to say, too, one of the things that helped me was when I was taking some prosperity courses, I found that whenever you forgive yourself, you know, it's one thing to know that you've had these issues with money and your mom, you know, they maybe didn't teach you the right ideas about money. So whenever you start to forgive yourself and to forgive your mom and forgive every, you know, idea that you've had that's wrong about money, it's when you kind of come into this realization that it's okay, you know, I can make this fresh start and start over with my thinking and retraining that thinking. So I wanted to give that as a tip for everyone if you are trying to go to a different level, to learn how to forgive yourself for all the things that you've done wrong in the past and move forward from here on out.
Ooh, powerful. Oh my goodness, you ladies. It's actually any final thoughts? Because we're getting ready to close, because some people are watching us on their lunch hour and some of them in their breakfast hour. And this has been an hour, you know, just packed. I'm going back to watch the replay because this has been so good. Kana, thanks so much. Miss Karen, oh my goodness, thanks so much. Miss Deetra, thank you for our very special guest for showing, you know, for joining us today. Any ladies, you got any final thoughts? We got like, I mean, seriously, we got like 1 minute left. Anything final before I wrap this up?
I want to say use Pam's thoughts and make people know your expectations, definitely. You know them for yourself and then let other people know them. It'll help you a lot along the way.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Anything else, Ms. Karen?
Yeah, I would say, you know what, it starts today. You can change your mind today. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. You don't have to go on that diet on Monday. You can do it today. It really is. It's just making that decision that you want to take your life where you want to do it, and then doing the work around it, you know, and just, it's today. You don't have to wait.
Awesome. Ms. Jinglet, any final thoughts from you?
You know, I think one thing to keep in mind is it's not our job to convince, coerce, control conversations with our customers. It's up to them to decide that they're interested, and you're just presenting that opportunity to them. So making friends with money, I think, is also really important, and getting to liking and accepting yourself. Sorry I missed out on some of it. I think Kana was talking about that, you know, forgiving yourself for things in the past, and you know, every day is a fresh new day, and you can get more skills today and just go forward and, you know, provide more value to the marketplace.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Ms. Deetra, any last thoughts, sweetie? You're muted out.
I would just say love what you do and love who you are. I mean, be who you are, and when you're authentic, you will draw the money, you'll draw the people, you'll draw the right energy and like minds. So be you. It's your occupation.
I love it. Thank you so much. Ms. Cherie King, final thoughts. I love be your authentic self, ladies, and we have to take that away from today. Like, you know, be your authentic self. I love it. Ms. Cherie King.
Yeah, I was just going to say to realize and understand that you are offering something of value to the marketplace, to your clients, your customers, your potentials, whatever. Know the worth and the value of what you're offering, and don't come from a state of despotism. Just come from a state of posture and knowing, hey, I have something that you need that's going to help and benefit you. And if you don't want it, then it's no loss on me, it's your loss.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right, Miss Pam Lawhorn, I want you to give your final thoughts, and then you can just close this out, my dear.
All right. But don't be afraid to know the value of what you're offering and stand firm in it and ask for what it is that you want. You'll get it each and every time.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Now, guys, if you've been invited here today, we want you to click the link below this video, and we want you to get started, okay? Like Miss Karen said today, like, you can start today, right? It's so awesome that you have a new day. You can start today no matter what, you know, you messed up. You know, maybe your last business was a failure, right? Maybe you didn't make any money. It's okay. It's a new start. It's a new day. So the person who invited you here today loves you so much, and they want to see you successful, and you can actually be successful. We have proven it over and over again. So we want to invite you to click the link below this video. Get started today. If you have more questions, you can click that link as well and get your questions answered get empowered, and get started. We're going to see you next week at the same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Winning Women Network. We'll see you next week. Love you.